What do you think some of the mistakes are that people make when their DSOs are growing a little bit too fast? That's amazing. Now, tell me about the process. So you built up your organization to 20 locations. You have you're successful, and then you merged with CDP. Tell me a little bit about that transition and how that felt.
Yeah, so there are basically two DSOs. One was 12 locations, pediatric dentistry and orthodontics, and the other one is 8 locations, general dentistry and orthodontics. And I've known Emmett for years, and we were in the speaking scene in the DSO world, and we would talk about, hey, we're in the same state. How can we hold hands? And you know how that works in dental conferences. Every few months, you meet similar people, and then you talk about same things. And then I would go back to Emmett and say, hey, man, let's do something together. We're in the same market. We see similar patients. We have the same philosophy. Look, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And then 3 months later, we keep the same talk. And then one day he called and said, you know what? I'm tired of you always asking me about synergies and how do we get things better. Let's do it. And then he said, come on to Denton and let's talk. And that's what happened. We discussed how this would work. And with our friend Double Tucker, he had 16 locations in Texas. So all three of us dental groups came together in one room, and we decided to merge, which is basically equity swap, which is everybody puts their equity in one pot to become one big company. And that's what happened. And since then, we tripled the value. We've grown so much. We've learned so much.
Wow.
And we've added a lot of offices. We've partnered with amazing entrepreneurs. We've increased revenue. We've enhanced patient care. So it was great. It was one of the best decisions I've done.
Yeah, so that sounds like an amazing experience. Do you feel like your experience is common?
It's in the dental world, fortunately, we are in an amazing industry where there is high degree of awareness about patient care. There's high degree of awareness on business. There's high degree of it's not. We always when I go to these conferences, we always bash the dental industry, but it's yes, I understand there are some limitations and it's still primitive, but we live in an amazing industry. Everyone's willing to help. I bet you anything you call anyone, say, hey, can I shadow your team to learn about revenue cycle management? They'll say,
Yeah.
hop on board, come on in. And that's what I did.
Yep.
I did that with at least 3 different DSOs, and they let me in their kitchen to see their cookbook, their how they cook their stuff. And so we do have an amazing industry where there is high degree of awareness about growth and scaling. Now, can it be better? Absolutely, but yes, we do live in a good, prosperous industry.
What do you think some of the mistakes are that people make when their DSOs are growing a little bit too fast?
That is a common problem. We sometimes we get distracted by shiny things, like, hey, let me buy that extra office or two. Let me ramp up this project and see what it does. And if you don't have your eye on the ball and you have your KPIs all lined up, you're looking at them frequently, you're using this data to do a feedback mechanism and influence your processes and systems, then what commonly happens is you either you over invest in some of your central support, which you become top heavy.
Yeah.
It happens. Or the complete opposite, which you don't invest in any of it at all and just keep adding growth or locations, and you end up with very poor central support, which is the most common that I see.